Hi, my name is Ryan O'Connor, and you're watching Disney Channel.
Oh no.
Just kidding. Welcome to this edition of One on One. I'm joined today by former Disney Channel writer and current Boston University film and television professor, Adam Lapidus. Adam is credited as a writer for many of our BU students' favorite Disney Channel shows, including The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, The Sweet Life on Deck, Jessie, and many other childhood favorites. Adam's here to talk to us today about his career as a storyteller in children's programming. Adam, thank you so much for being here today.
It's my pleasure. I just, one complaint, these are empty. I just want to make sure everybody knows that there's nothing in here. But,
yeah, mine's empty too. I'll have to go complain to the producer about that, right?
Anyway, I'm thrilled to be here, so...
We're thrilled to have you.
Thank you.
A show like The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody has been an integral part of our childhood, and it's still something we frequently reference.
Right.
Did you imagine that a show like this would become such an important part of like my childhood, my generation?
No, in fact, I've been talking to old people on the show. It's amazing to me because now the generation grew up as you guys. And I was saying, like, when you're doing it, you don't know. You have no idea if the show's popular or not because you're just there. The actors might say, oh, they're crowds, but you don't know. The first time I knew that that Sweet Life of Zack and Cody was popular is when Mad Magazine did a parody of us. And I remember sitting in the writer's room, we're like, oh, people must know this show. I mean, that was really the first time that we had any awareness that it was in the zeitgeist. And then when you do a live show, the audience starts showing up, and when you first do them, you're begging people to come watch a show, and then the audience fills up, and then you can't get tickets yourself. So we knew it was a popular show, but it wasn't really till you guys hit your 20s and I came to BU, and I realized how important it was and how popular it was. And at the time, as a writer, when you went to the Disney Channel, it was kind of like this where your career went to die. It was not cool. And what I love is all the writers I know who went to cool shows, no one knows who they are. And here I am, running for these shows, and everybody knows who they are. So it's actually become this amazing, wonderful thing that is really heartwarming to me. And we talk to each other, and I tell everybody, like, the whole school, they come in singing, Welcome to the Tipton song, Who knew, So it's amazing, and it took a long time, but it's become this wonderful thing for us.
Speaking specifically for Sweet Life, one of my favorite characters, and I know he's a personal friend for you, is Arwen, played by Brian Stepanek. And I was wondering if you could talk briefly about some of Brian's greatest hits. So I have a few that come to mind right now. I was hoping you could just talk a little bit about them and maybe rank them.
Oh, rank them? Okay.
Yeah, so the first one is...
I hope Brian watches this.
The first one is, I think it was a Halloween special with Arwen made his own Frankenstein, Arwenstein. The second one being, there was an episode, I think Zach kissed a girl on in the show, and it was Arwen said, "Cake makes me crazy," in an outburst. And finally, Arwen's famous bowling scene when he shows everybody up at the bowling alley. If you had to rank, what's the most iconic or popular, your favorite, how would you?
Brian really loved Arwenstein because he got to play two characters. So I think that would be Brian's favorite.
Okay.
I don't know why. I loved the bowling where he did the slow motion thing. I just thought that was so incredible because he's such an amazing physical actor.
Yeah.
And you don't realize how hard that was. And also it goes along with that how hard it was for everybody else in the scene not to laugh because they also had to look like they're going in slow motion, and he was being so funny. So I love that one, and Cake Makes Me Crazy, Kiss the Girl was hysterical. Anytime Brian does that silly stuff, so it's hard to rank Brian stuff.
It's really funny. It sounds like you're kind of indecisive about what the order of the clips are. We brought the expert in himself to give it, his own opinions.
Hello. I was instructed to rank 3 scenes from Sweet Life, 1, 2, and 3. The link didn't work, so I am just going to assume the scenes were bowling, Arwenstein, and Cake Makes Me Crazy. And I would put them in that order.
So bowling sounds like he was his top choice too, and I got to say I would agree with that. The way he just kind of came in with it.
Yeah, that was great because he got to be real physical with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's so cool, Brian. Is he doing cameo now, which is awesome?
He does cameo now, and he actually has a few other words he wanted to say specifically to you.
Did you guys contact him? Because he wouldn't get back to me.
We did.
Oh my
This is a little surprise for you.
Adam is one of the nicest, kindest people I've ever met in Hollywood. Obviously ridiculously talented. He worked consecutively for years and years and years, so he obviously is really good at what he does. But I think the coolest thing about Adam is that he approaches Hollywood and having a job there with childlike wonder every day. I think he and I are very similar that way, that we are constantly so shocked that we've been able to have a career in this place that we dreamt about as kids. And he never lost that. I don't think he ever walked onto a Hollywood lot and didn't go, wow, that's Adam. So he and I have that in common. So the two things in our lives that we are totally shocked by every day is that, obviously we made a living in Hollywood and that our wives married us. So, yeah, that's pretty much our lives in a nutshell.
Aw, he's so nice.
He really is.
I love him. He's such a good guy.
Yeah.
I love working with him. I mean, that's what he brought to the set, and it's true. I mean, that's the important thing I tell my students. It's just like, if you get a job every day, every day I tell like the young actors when it got too much, I say, we got to work on a set. I mean, people enter contests to come here. I mean, isn't this cool every day?
Awesome.
Yeah.
So one of the interesting questions we had is, for me as a BU student, just our class in general here at Boston University, is you're a professor here at BU who also wrote for a show that takes place in Boston. Do you find that ironic that the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody is in the Tipton Hotel, which is based in Boston?
It's so funny. It didn't really occur to me when I came here. My favorite story about that is Phil Lewis, who played Mr. Mosby, said he was in Boston. Like when my daughter went to Emerson, and we came here. We did go to the hotel that the Tipton is based on.
But it's in Copley Plaza.
Yeah, and it's shorter.
Because I'll see that tower right next to it.
Right. So we built it up in post, but it was in Boston. So when you come here, you would go and take pictures. And Phil said he came with his kids a few years ago and went to the hotel, and he said a tour bus went by and said, and this is the hotel that they did the Sweet Life in. And then Phil was there, and he started waving. He said the bus freaked out, or whatever it was like that. So, no, it's funny because I'm from New York, so the only time I thought about it is when we did like an episode about the Yankees would come to town,
What was it, Phil's character, Mr.
Yeah,
Mosby,
he's
who
the
caught
most hated man in Boston. Yeah,
a ball that was technically still in play, right?
Yeah, it was based on something that really happened to some poor guy. So
Yeah.
we had Phil do it and hurt the Red Sox. So I would just mock that because I was like, anything I could do as a Yankee fan,
Right, you're talking to a fellow Yankee fan right
Yeah,
now.
there you
I know.
go. There you go.
We're on a Boston set right now.
I know.
So our last question, just some final parting thoughts. For a young creative like myself, or the rest of my class, or just anyone out there right now who's looking to have a future in film and television, what do you recommend?
Law school.
Law school.
Law school.
Why is that?
Because you can get a job and it might last for a while. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. What I tell my students, it's hard. The always thing I start off with, if you're going to be in show business, you're going to do this, here's the bottom line. You're going to be unemployed, and that's okay. And you have to be okay with that. And I always say, like, Tom Hanks is unemployed. He just does it in a really huge house. I was there for 33 years, and I think I worked steadily, like on a show, if you put it all together, for maybe 60% of that time, and I had a good career. So here's the thing. You're going to be employed, it's okay. Find something else to interest you that's outside of show business.
Completely outside of it.
Completely,
Not even related?
No, because I'm like bizarrely tall. So I play basketball, and so whenever I was working, I coached basketball. At the Y, at college, high school, wherever I could. Just something else that's not entertainment, just for your own sanity.
Keep those worlds separate.
Keep them separate. Don't take rejection personally, because you're going to get rejected. If something bad happens, you're allowed to have one day to feel bad, and you just got to keep moving forward. My career was always just being confident and just moving forward and going, okay, I've got this possibility, I've got this. My daughter's doing it now. She's 26, and she's doing the writing thing, and I tell her, just keep moving forward, don't feel bad, be confident, enjoy being poor, enjoy the struggle, and meet people, create a community of people, as we were talking about before. All these people who are doing well now, the Seth Rogen group, Judd Apatow, Amy Poehler, they all knew each other before they were famous. They all pick a group, because you find a core group to hang out with, and somebody might break through, and then you got to help your friends. So create that community, and also to have support.
Well said. Adam, I got to thank you so much for being here today,
Sure.
especially in person. It's been such a pleasure hearing, about your experience in children's programming, just television in general, and that's some great advice to kind of finish off on. So thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. This is really cool. This is like this is like a real set. This is like cool. This is like things going on. There's no water, but everything else is
no,
really.
No water.
We'll
get you some water after.
No, it's all right. It's too late.
I think we can find you some water.
It's too late. It's too late. No, this has been a pleasure. I'm thrilled to be here, and thank you for asking me. It's awesome.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next edition of One on One.